Right there's in the. Yep, just come back a little bit. Right there. That's perfect. Right there. Yep, right there. That's perfect. Is that in your face?
Nah, that's good. It's soft light, so even if it is, it's no problem. I'm blind in this eye anyway. I can barely see it.
All right, so for those that didn't know or didn't notice, this whole segment was AI.
Whole time. Got you. Got you.
He's not even here right now.
Nah, man. I'm chilling at home right now.
So we've gone over your life. We've gone over music. We've gone over entrepreneurship. We've gone over politics. We've gone over AI.
Oh, speaking of AI, though, I was telling you, so there's a lot of AI songs about Tupac, right? There's like verses that get passed around now, and that happens a lot with like people who passed with AI, right? So it reminds me of the Tupac story. I said I was going to tell you this earlier. So I found out this late in my life, bro. This is years after I started making music. That someone who I grew up with is apparently his stepbrother, you know, and I found out because he did an interview and I was trying to find him, you know. I was like, dang, whatever happened, you know? And as I'm doing my research, I'm like, damn, what the hell? But he never mentioned this to me, not even one time the entire time that I knew him, right? So it took me a while to verify, but eventually I do find out, yeah, like his dad is Tupac's stepdad, right? So like they're not related by blood. They're related by family, by marriage, right? So that was the connection, and it's crazy because this same dude, I used to rap to him when I was young, before I ever like released anything, and he would give me like feedback. And one of the criticisms he told me is I sound too much like Tupac. You know?
Oh shit!
Which now looking back, I'm like, damn. So is his brother telling me I sound like him? You know, which is crazy to think about. But yeah, man, that was one of the stories that it's like, damn, like pieces falling together. You know what I mean? Where you're like, damn, I can't even believe it myself type shit, you know?
Yeah, you had that revolutionary flow.
Yeah, big facts apparently. But yeah, man, it was cool though. It was cool to find that out because like I was always such like influenced by Tupac, you know what I mean? So to like have that close of a connection, it was like, damn, that's cool, you know?
Do you ever feel like you have that connection with, because I believe in spirits, right?
Yeah.
I believe you can actually tap into someone else's spirit.
Yeah, almost like channel it.
Yeah, you can channel it, right? You ever feel like you channel some of that Tupac spirit, that revolutionary? Because we talked about politics, we talked about music.
I would say no, but we were shaped by the same environment. Like a lot of people don't realize that Tupac was also grew up in the Bay Area like I did, also around the Black Panthers at the same time in the 90s, the same time I was there, you know. He was just older, you know. So I think we were just shaped similarly by the environment. But nah, I can't claim that like I have anything other than certain writing schemes that I do. Like I tend to be mathematic with my verses, right? I know it's 16 bars. I break it down into 4 bars. That way I can focus on my first and fourth bar as my hardest bars. And I always got hard bars through my whole fucking verse, right? And that's why a lot of people say, for instance, like, oh, this shit sounds smooth. It's because I planned it out mathematically, you know? That is also apparently what Tupac did a lot because he used to write poetry the same way, right? So little things like that, but I didn't get that from him. You know what I mean? That's just, I think, from environmental factors.
You are probably one of the best songwriters I know personally.
I appreciate that.
You know how to structure your music. You know how to put them together. You have a format that works. You think about a lot of artists nowadays. They have more of the.
It's like a freestyle.
It is a freestyle, right? It's like
a vibe, you know, and like there's nothing wrong with that. Like I think it's changed a lot. You know what I mean? Like I feel like my style of rapping was more common when we were coming up. You know what I mean? Now it's a lot more about the vibes and the aesthetic and the shit that comes with the rapper, as opposed to the music. And there's downsides to that. One of the downsides is that the quality overall is diminished because the audience is trained to accept like lesser standards, essentially, you know. So one thing that's good about that is that then other rappers can become rappers easier. You know, it's an easier barrier of entry. But it lowers the overall quality. You know, so now you end up with a saturated market full of rappers. Everyone's a rapper. Most of it is garbage, and then you got to find them gems. You know what I mean? Whereas before, it was kind of like those gems were the only ones you ever saw because there was such a filtering process that got rid of a whole bunch of niggas. You know? So it just changes it, man. And it depends on what you value. Like for me, I'll never not like lyrics. I'll never be like able to ignore the fact that, from my opinion, a lot of niggas ain't trying. A lot of people aren't even attempting to make fire lyrics, you know?
Yeah.
So that always will bug me. But I understand I'm in the minority now, man. It's a youth run genre at the end of the day, right? Like,
yeah.
It's kids that decide that, and they're on to that new shit, bro. They're on to just the vibes and the aesthetic. That's cool, you know? It's just different than what we grew up with.
It is different. And you know what's crazy is I was just watching a video with DJ Academics.
Okay, yeah, I think I watched it. Yeah.
And he was talking about Kendrick Lamar's music, right?
Yeah.
And he was saying how he's like, yo, you know, whenever I hear Travis Scott and Kendrick Lamar, you know, their song they had, I'm vibing hard. Travis Scott's going in. He's killing it. This is my type of vibe. Yeah. And then Kendrick comes on and he's like, man, what the fuck is this? And from a songwriter perspective, Kendrick to me is the top of the peak,
For
right?
Sure.
He's really a songwriter. And so what you just said is so crazy because it's like, you know, the music has diminished like to the point where we listen to a Kendrick and they might say, this is garbage.
Yeah, because they can't. And here's the truth about it. It's the effort. They don't want to have to put in the effort to have to dissect your lyrics to figure out what you're talking about. They just want to feel what the lyrics are. So it's like a different way of approaching the music. And neither is right, you know what I mean? But I will say one is easier for sure. You can definitely become a vibe rapper tomorrow if you have the confidence to do it.
Yeah.
You can't become a technician of lyricism tomorrow. You got to put in work for that shit. And that's the bar I wish that the audience understood more. I wish that they understood that shit takes effort. That shit takes time and dedication to get good at. And that should be rewarded more than someone who could just step in and have a vibe, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not the one that ultimately decides those things, you know, so I accept that, you know, but it is what it is at this point, you know, and you are correct that it has consequences that I didn't think people were aware of at the time, like people downplaying Kendrick, which is crazy to me.
Yeah,
I do think, though, it's also partly that Academics is just kind of a Kendrick hater, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, it is what it is. He kind of hates him anyway.
He's chosen his side.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think that's part of it, but I mean, it's true though. A lot of people say, like, man, no one cares about that no more. Like, it's all how does it make me feel now? How do I look when I wear your promo merch and shit like that?
Yeah.
You know, that's what more matters now, which is cool. You know, it's different. It's different, you know.
So I have a few more things we're gonna touch here, and I'm gonna let you continue your journey, right? But I cannot let you leave without talking about, and we just talked about this. You know, what the future looks like. And you're such a good songwriter, such a good composer, that being an author of a book or putting stories together, it seems like it's just naturally coming your way.
That is the essence of it, right? Is the songwriting. That's what I appreciate and like the most, is writing the song, having it come together. So yeah, that does translate to other things. Like I'm working on a project with my dad where I'm doing a whole bunch of like recordings like this, essentially, where we go back and forth about his life and his memories and his whole story, because it is very interesting and it's very relevant for now, you know? And so I want to put that into a book. Now, how quickly I can do that, I don't know. I've never done that before. You know, I'm not the author in the family. My sister is. She actually has 3 books that are doing really well. So,
or we'll just use AI.
Use AI and it'll be done tomorrow. But for real, like, and we already have 70 hours worth of like this type of combo stuff. So
that's crazy.
It is in the works already. It's just now up to me to write it. But long story short, yes, I do want to translate the writing into other avenues, maybe even YouTube, things like that. You know, so we'll see. We'll see what the future holds for that.
Yeah. So, songwriter, composer, an author, it looks like that's all in the future. You're going to be writing books. I'm excited to be able to read those. Let's talk about you at where you're at now at your point. What are some things that you would say to an aspiring artist, an aspiring rapper who hasn't really been through what you've been through, who hasn't really seen what you've seen, who hasn't had those things come up yet with like relationships and situations? What would you leave as some advice or maybe some gems to the youth watching this?
Yes, I mean, it's a good question, and there's so much you can say, right? I think the two things that are the most important are make sure you love what you're doing, right? Make sure it's worth sacrificing for, because you will have to make sacrifices. You will have to sacrifice certain things. And if you don't love what you do, that becomes hard. That becomes difficult.
Yeah.
If you love what you do, you're going to want to do that. You're going to understand that that's the important part. That's the priority, right? So it's very important. Don't get too invested into something if you don't know that that's what you want to do for the rest of your life. And then another thing that's very important is don't discount the process. Don't think that a quicker, faster way to success is the better route, because oftentimes what you're sacrificing is the things that make it last, the things that make that success translate over generations, right? If you're taking a quick way up, what that usually involves following trends, following things that are hot now, following things that are going to get you attention in the moment, right? But if you're prioritizing the moment, you're never going to be able to prioritize the future. You're never going to be able to get to the point that you want to get to. You're always going to be stuck in that moment. So that's the other big piece of advice, is like, don't attach yourself to momentary things. Try to create a longer legacy in something that you love and that you care about. And that's my advice. Now, will that work? Don't sue me. Don't sue me. It might not work. Yeah. But at least if you do that, at least then you can accept when it doesn't work, right? And you're not bitter. So that's my piece of advice.
Yeah. And for our last question, before we part ways and before we allow you to continue your journey, I think a lot of the viewers watching this, they want to know, will we get more projects from Zigga?
Man, yeah, whether you like it or not, you're going to get more projects. So the next one's going to be Little Cottonwood. That's a follow-up, actually, to the 2014 Big Cottonwood. So I'm really excited for that. It's already recorded. Just got to get everything together to drop it, right? And then I also have an experimental album coming out. I'll withhold the title for now on that one. But that one's very different, similar to how my last album was. It was not a rap album like I normally make. So this is another one like that. It's another experimental cross-genre album, very different than the last one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited to drop music. Hopefully I'm going to start doing more shows here. I've kind of been slacking on that, to be honest with you guys. I have not been pursuing it to the amount that I should have been, right? But I want to get back to that. It's such an important part of my life. I want to do that again, right? So those are the things I got coming up, at least for now, that I'm willing to, put out there publicly.
For sure. Well, Zigga,
course,
it's been a blast talking with you, having the viewers hear your story, your testimony, in a sense.
Yeah, hopefully it's helpful for them,
And we wish you the best. We want you to continue on your journey. You are a survivor.
Appreciate that, bro.
You're an example to a lot of the viewers at home watching this of perseverance. And we wish you well on your journey. And we hope to have you back.
Of course.
Maybe we can review.
Last time.
Maybe we can review some of the new music.
For sure.
Man,
let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Brother.
So this is This Hello, episode 12. We've got the man of the hour, Zigga.
Yep.
We'll see you on the next one.
Peace. I wanted it so hard. Hey, knocked it out.
So like what